Got a lot to cover today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Y'all ready?
Do it. Let's
All
go.
right. Welcome, people. Hi, and welcome to today's office hours. We're focused on SmartForms today. We're going to do a deep dive. So today's session is all about helping you understand how SmartForms can be used both as an operational accelerator and a revenue generating tool within your MSP. So we'll talk through how to get started, where SmartForms fits into your existing workflows, and how partners that we've been working with are successfully using them to drive efficiency, consistency, and measurable business outcomes. So, not just ticket deflection, but real value across the service desk and into your clients. I'm Alyssa Castro. As always, I'll be moderating today's session, and joining me are two experts who work closely with partners every day to design, deploy, and optimize SmartForms. So, we've got Matt Frederick, Partner Success Manager, and Sean Ustazen, Product Specialist. Here is what we'll cover in the next hour. We'll start with a brief overview on how to get started with SmartForms, including where they sit within the PIA platform and how partners typically begin rolling them out, what that process looks like. And then we'll talk through a bit of a revenue generating approach that we've seen within our existing partners so far. Maybe give some ideas, get the gears turning for you. And then from there, we're going to be spending the majority of our time today doing a deep dive with Sean, where he'll walk through SmartForms in action, discuss configuration considerations, and show how they connect into broader workflows. We're going to be taking Q&A pretty much live, so if you have any questions over what Sean's going to be walking us through, please ask them in real time and we'll get to them. For any questions that maybe aren't relevant to the exact point in conversation where we're at that moment, we're going to save it for the end, do an open Q&A at the end and dig deeper into those questions, as well as what some new things that are happening in PIA are. Before we jump in, a couple of housekeeping items. The session is going to run for 60 minutes. We're here for an hour for you. You're welcome to use the chat for comments and reactions throughout the session, and then the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen for questions that we can track. You can submit questions publicly or privately at any time. I'll be keeping an eye on both to make sure we address them at the right moments. And then lastly, please stick around for the post session survey at the end, please. As always, your feedback directly shapes future office hours, quite literally has already influenced how we structure these sessions. So we take those seriously. All right. To get us started, Matt, I've got a question for you. From everything that you've learned in your position as a partner success manager working with many of our MSPs, what can you tell us about getting started with SmartForms? Let's say I'm a PIA partner who has not yet explored SmartForms. What should my approach be?
Awesome. Hey, Alyssa, first off, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you here today. If you really haven't started to explore smart forms quite yet, there's a few steps you want to take first. Really to start, you want to make sure that you have the right mindset. With smart forms, it is a big operation, but you don't want to treat smart forms as this big operational platform rollout, right? Start small, start with maybe a pilot group of maybe 1 to 2 clients. Maybe they can be your most noisiest clients that you've seen create a little bit more of a drag on your help desk, right? So treat SmartForms as this problem solver for your service desk. It's You think of it as an extension. It's not just in a tool, but it's an extension of your desk. Furthermore, if you want to think, the goal isn't about quantity quite yet. It's about impact. So think, how can we better these workflows, the existing workflows, right, in PIA by gathering this information upfront so there's less back and forth. Previously, I was at an MSP to this. I've said this with my partners. Gathering this information upfront was always the worst part. So it speaks to me. Smart forms do in that way. from a time saving perspective. So just one thing to look at it, one successful smart form is better than 10 unused smart forms. It's all about time saving. It's about quality over quantity, at least at first. So smart forms really are about fixing that intake, right? So automation can really actually work behind the scenes. So next, you want to identify those first case uses, right? So you want to look at your ticket volume, kind of what we were talking about here, and say, hey, where are these nagging requests that come in every single week, every single day, day in, day out? Which one of these will require some of the same information every single time? And where does this back and forth, where does it slow us down? Where's the cog in the wheel, right? So some common starting points with smart forms, take a peek at password resets. Take a peek at some of these account lockouts. Obviously, you can jump into onboardings, the account terminations, access or permission changes, just to name a few. But just of note here, if your engineers already know what questions to ask your clients, that's a smart form just waiting to happen, right? They've got all the information there, but why not put it into a form? So let's quickly talk about driving adoption then internally and externally, right? So we've seen that engineers truly trust smart forms once they stop receiving these vague or incomplete tickets that are oh so common. We know it. We've seen it. We see it day in and day out. Externally, you want to make sure you're telling your clients on your first smart form, hey, this is the fastest way to get support, right? Requests submitted this way are going to move immediately. So there's no downtime. Typically, what we've seen as well is clients are going to adopt smart forms naturally once they experience faster resolution, fewer follow-up questions, clear visibility into progress, just to name a few. SmartForms has all of these. So to wrap that up, Alyssa, a good takeaway, hey, let's start small, 1 to 2 pilot clients. Um, let's have these smart forms, whether one or two of them have some of these fewer follow-up questions. I'm sorry, solve one real problem and then let that success build momentum day in and day out. They're going to prove value quickly, and we feel it's a real game changer.
Nice. Love that approach. And I've seen it work for a lot of partners, and it kind of blends into the crawl, walk, run motion that we talk about a
100%.
lot here. So that's perfect. We got a really great question from David that I had actually heard first from one of our partners. And then after kind of spreading the word to our other partners has made a really big impact on SmartForms usage. He says, what are your recommendations for getting our account managers to take responsibility for working with clients to adopt smart forms when submitting requests?
Hmm. Good one. Yeah. With account managers, you want to be kind of you want to make sure you're really getting them the correct information up front. So we do have a client-facing form, I believe, Alyssa, that
Hmm.
we can provide to you if you just reach out to your partner success manager. Um, we get that into your account manager's hands, and it'll basically show you the who, what, where, when, why of smart forms. What is the purpose? How is it making my automate or I'm sorry, my request faster? So I think that's a good way, one solid way to start for sure.
Yeah, getting them excited about this new tool that they can talk about with their clients. It adds something on their agenda during their account management calls with their clients. It can get them excited to just say something new on their next account management call. Another thing that we talked about in our last office hours is actually gamification. So once
Certainly.
maybe that specific client hits so many smart forms, they get a special thing, whether that's a prize or a certification, whatever that may be. So gamification with account managers has also proven to be pretty helpful. And then one other thing I wanted to be, or I would be remiss if I didn't mention, is also including it in the SmartForms booking link whenever you're maybe helping your client deploy their systems, is having it already a part of the bookmarks. So it's real simple, real easy to access SmartForms. Um, so great question, David. Thank you. Another question for you, Matt, is let's talk revenue generating. Let's talk about go-to-market differentiators.
Nice.
So we've had instances already where some of our partners have turned their version of SmartForms, since it can be white labeled, which we'll talk more in just a bit about, into a go-to-market strategy for themselves. So what are some
Yeah.
examples of this that you can share with us that you've seen with our partners?
Yeah. Another great question. I love talking about this topic too, because this is where we see a real seismic shift from efficiency to a revenue generating asset that PIA can be. If you don't know me already, I like to talk a lot about mind shift sets. So just kind of bringing it back to that, smart forms are not just internal efficiency tools, right? We know it is, but there's that other new dimension that we want to show here. They are what we like to call a client experience differentiator. So this changes the experience drastically. And what I mean by that is you're not just selling automation, you're selling outcomes. So quicker, faster, better type of results.
Hmm.
Um, some of these common go-to-market strategies that we've seen, one of them can be you can offer SmartForms as a premium service tier, right? So use SmartForms and then combine that with automation included in some of these higher tier agreements, right? So positioning SmartForms as a faster, more priority service. Hey, you need this done quickly? Yeah, we got that solution for you, especially maybe an offboarding that has to be done in a certain time, in a certain space. Yeah, that would be the right solution. If you about it from a more marketing side of things, you can say, hey, this is an automated new user setup, a good way to talk about it. Same day offboarding. And in that case, you can maybe use zero touch and mention that or start talking about that with your partner success manager if you already haven't. You can also say this is instant access changes, right? So just a few ways to think about that with your clients. You can also think about client-specific smart forms too. So customizing your forms for specific industries, maybe specific individuals at your clients, say executive level or management level. Also different workflows. So it can be positioned as more tailored operational support. So you can still have that personal touch that your clients love and expect and picking up the phone, etc. But making sure that it's faster and accurate is the goal here. So how about positioning it? How do they position it within their go-to-market strategy? Well, you can say, hey, it's less back and forth because we're collecting all the information right up front. You got faster turnaround, fewer mistakes, full visibility into the request process because it's a form, right? They're filling out everything as they go. Everything is done right the first time around. And as we know, if it's not, that can erode trust. And especially with newer clients, that's a huge benefit for using smart forms. As far as a business impact goes, it's higher margins, especially when it comes to those fixed fee agreements that MSPs typically will have. You'll now have the ability to scale without adding headcount on the desk. It's not necessarily getting rid of headcount on the desk, but without adding, right? can also have or lead to the confidence to say yes to additional growth into additional, say, uh, partners or clients that are coming on that you were maybe looking to get. So the key takeaway is you're not charging for these forms, but you're charging for speed, you're charging for accuracy, consistency, and reliability. So in all, if there's one thing that you take from this, SmartForms doesn't just change how tickets come in. Really, they change how MSPs grow and making it a revenue generating asset by hopefully using some of these strategies here.
Yeah, I like that. And I did also want to mention, depending on what you're doing with smart forms and your clients, I have seen new line items of, let's say, automation as a service for the smart forms portal. Maybe you have a tech team that's not 24 by 7. Well, you can be 24 by 7 now with smart forms. Or if it's maybe a lot of customization into your smart forms, have a that's professional services. That could be professional services. So
ProServe, yeah.
a lot of different things to think about. Okay. All right, Sean, I'm going to pass it over to you. Let's screen share and get into it.
Perfect. We can definitely do that. So let me share my screen. I think I'll take this all away. All right. Can everyone see what is popping up here?
Yep, got it.
We
Perfect.
got you.
Right. So on the portal, obviously, you'll have your SmartForms tab. You'll select that, and this is where you can customize this. So you can rebrand this as your own. You'll have your own logo. You'll have your own color that's in line with your company branding. You can change your introduction to whatever you feel is going to entice your clients to use these smart forms. And yeah, so you just literally rebrand it to your own company standards, and it will make your client feel more like this is your portal. It's not just peer. So at the top we've got workflows. So you can set your boards, your sources, your teams for certain smart forms. You can set everything up in line with the type and items that you have in your PSA. And when a client submits their smart forms, it will run through this flow. The one nifty part is a question that Matt sent through to me is like, if a client submits a smart form but they don't complete it, what happens to it? So here you can actually set the time so that if they don't submit the form within like 2 hours, it will get cancelled. So question that they came up quite a few times. You could definitely modify all of this. So the AI auto reply is actually quite nice. So that if a client sends an email saying, I need to reset a password, the AI auto reply will actually send an email saying, hey, we've got a smart form for that. This is just to run adoption. So they actually use these smart forms, and they'll get the email. They can run the form. It will include the smart form submitted into the current ticket, so it won't duplicate any tickets. But this is a nice way just to drive adoption on the client side to smart forms. So permissions is just how we get everything set up for clients to access smart forms. We've got certain integrations, and then on the client side, this is where you can enable smart forms for these clients. Um, so whichever client you feel needs smart forms, you can enable it here. And then on forms, you can actually enable certain smart forms for these clients. So if you want to create a remove mail forwarding rule for just two of your clients, it can be configured here. And then just run through the process. You can configure the forms. You can enable zero touch, which is a very, very nifty option. Uh, so that just also drives a little bit of adoption where there's no technical intervention required. And it's magnificent. Like you guys need to do zero touch. So zero touch can be configured for most of the forms, which is is quite nice, especially on onboarding. The onboarding form is one of the biggest ones that we have. That slices the time for new user creation almost in half, and that can be set up as zero touch as well. But it has to be configured correctly. There are certain items that need to be disabled for zero touch. You have to have your CSP integration set up correctly, and then that is also just something that will run through. No technical intervention required. All the information will be sent to the submitter, and then it's done. Onboarding, where it will take you like 2-3 hours, will be slashed down to less than an hour. So with the staff onboarding, we've got the package configuration, we've got the hybrid properties. So this will be pulled from your MS graph that's been set up for your clients. But the most important that I wanted to touch on is the extra features. Very, very nice. You can enable litigation hold. You can set up the home drive if your client uses the home drive feature. So everything will be set up once that is enabled. You've got show it disabled user manager for copy user fields. So if you have a disabled account, but you still want to copy that account, very nice little feature to have there as well. We've got the SMS templates for when the SMS goes out once an account has been created. But this is one of the biggest ones to keep an eye on if you do want to set up this for zero touch. You can enable license procurement blank. It will just create an account without a license. But if you select prompt for confirmation before procurement, this will halt the onboarding process because it will require an engineer to actually confirm that you want to procure a license for this new user.
Hey, Sean,
And
I
then
got a question, if you don't
for
mind.
sure,
Would you go back down um what you were just talking about with the prompt for
yes.
confirmation? Would you suggest, say, like you're doing zero touch for the first time? Um, would this be something that you would suggest checking off for, your first time doing zero touch or smart forms in general?
So I would say when you first set up the onboarding form, definitely enable the prompt for confirmation before procurement, just to make sure that the process works with your integrations, with your CSP
Yeah.
integrations. Because you don't want to just enable lots of procurements and then there's an issue with your CSP integration and it just holds anyway and it just cancels the process altogether.
Okay.
So definitely run a few tests with the prompt for confirmation before you select zero touch. Yeah, just so you can make sure that everything works.
Yeah.
Right. With the self onboarding as well, another big feature is access levels. Like this is definitely something that needs to be set up. So if you have different departments for your sales, your finance, your HR, access levels is a powerful tool because each department they require a different license, they require different groups. So access levels can be set up with the groups, with the licensing that is required, your organizational units, so that once a client fills in the form, they'll have a drop down for access levels. They can select the one that they need, and the account will be created with all the prerequisites for that department user. So you can see we've got a few here. We've got C-level, we've got supports, sales. So then on the drop down, select that, and then license groups and whatever requisites is required for that user will be applied. Right. So let me just quickly see here. I just want to take this down a little bit here. All right. So going over to SmartForms, like we've run through a few of this before. If you want to configure it as zero touch, let me just quickly get my account here. This is where you could configure extensions. Like if you want to create extension points for like once a new user has been created, but they require hardware, you can build that custom automation, that custom extension. You can add it to the staff onboarding. It will append it to the bottom of the staff onboarding form. And then once that has been triggered, it will either create a ticket or send an email, depending on how you build that custom automation. That will still be zero touch if you set it up as long as there is no technical intervention required or no engineering action required. Um, so yeah, so this is the one that I was looking for. So zero touch isn't enabled for this one, but there are a few features that need to be disabled, which is the non-standard request. Because if you do have the non-standard request enabled, uh, a partner might just put in, we need a new laptop for this user, and it will hold at that step, because that is where technical intervention is required as well. So that's why it's nice to build these extension automations for that. So that once you disable that, it won't require any input for the non-standard request, and it won't hold there. So with that, like if you guys need any assistance or anything as such to build these custom automations, we can definitely help you get it started. But we do have a Discord community that you can reach out to. Some of the community members have built some amazing things, and you can check it out there. And some have actually shared the code on some of the custom stuff that they built that you can always reach out and ask to assist with that. But just a few little nifty things as well. Like if you want to trim the fat on your onboarding form, there are a few fields that you can hide. I know a lot of clients don't always use some of these fields, so you can just select these to hide them, and that will just make the onboarding form just a little bit smaller. Oh, so that's onboarding. So I just want to run through a few things. So we've got a few out of the box small forms that the clients can use. Most of them can be set up as zero touch. So what I'm going to do
Real
is I'm just
quick,
going, yes.
Sean, quick question for you. Can we restrict who all within a client can maybe access an onboarding form?
There are access levels and security levels that can be set up for clients. Like you
Hmm.
can add a user, give them access to certain forms. Uh, like for HR, I'm guessing you give access to all the forms, well, mostly onboarding and offboarding. But if you have internal IT, then you can give them certain access levels and access to certain smart forms.
Cool.
All right, so I just want to run through a quick smart form that is zero touch. So I'm just gonna do a quick pause reset. Ah, it logged me out. My apologies. It's
A
staying on
little
the
bit of a
screen
curveball
for
here,
too long.
folks.
It's a good thing that it times out. It's just
Yeah,
for security, we just sit there, which is great. So this has been set
keeping
up
you on your
as
toes.
exactly. So this has been set up as zero touch. So what it's doing now, it's retrieving information from the directory, creating a support ticket in your PSA. It's just getting the form ready, and then this is a small little form. Um, we'll run through a while when it loads. So I'm not sure if there's any questions while this form loads. I'm not sure why it's taking so long today.
I have a question. So when we talk about permissions, what like users, how can they get into SmartForms, the SmartForm portals? Um, do they need specific access or how does that work?
So they wouldn't really need specific access. There's only two roles within the smart forms, is an administrator and a normal user. You can set up groups within your PSA to sync through to smart forms so that they can access that. Um, yeah,
Okay.
it's either sync, or you can do a manual add at the top, and then you can set up what forms that they can have access to. So it's not just all forms. You have to specifically pick what forms they can have access to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a quick pulse reset. I will do it for mine. I don't want to force it, and I do want to receive a text. So this is a nice little feature. So for zero touch, definitely use this so that you can enter the number of the person who requires a password reset, so that they don't have to wait for someone to check logs, send them a password. So let's do that. So that's perfect. So I'll submit that. Go over to the PSA. There we go. So this is the deposit reset ticket. So it is running in the background. It will do the deposit reset. It will send all the details out. So there we go. So it is zero touch. Everything is completed. The stamping has been done. The triage has been done. Everything has been sent through. Automatic time stamping for the tickets, which would say like 15 minutes log for password reset. And then when I check here, there we go. My password has been reset and I received my text.
Voila.
No technical intervention required. The time stamping is there for billing. Very, very simple. So most of these
We've
forms can be set up with zero touch, like account lockouts and whatever forms that are available.
we've got a few questions, Sean, that are pretty relevant right now. So this question, there's a lot to unpack. So let's take it chunk by chunk. So the question is, what happens if a user creates a sm what happens if a user creates a ticket by email? Smart forms with auto reply are enabled, but that user does not have permission to that smart form. For example, if a user needs to reset their password, but the user doesn't have access to the password reset smart form, will they still receive an auto reply pointing them to a smart form?
They will still receive the email. If they don't have access, just reach out to your MSP. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of MSPs actually sync their clients from their PSA, so they have access to SmartForms. Uh, but they'll definitely still get the email. So it's just if there's if the access issue, it's you can just reach out to your MSP and the peer champion should be able to resolve that issue.
Okay, so then it would fall back on the tech.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, hopefully that answers that question for you. Sir, okay, I've got two other questions. Does a user need an email in order to use smart forms? That's a good question.
They do, yes. The
Hmm.
SmartForm does use the Microsoft SQL sign-on.
Hmm.
So that they would need a Microsoft account, yes.
Good. And then do we have any plans to include Gmail accounts?
We actually already have that. We've got a create. Oh, so sorry for the SmartForms sign-on, not just yet.
Okay.
There is something in the pipeline. I'm just not sure the status of that.
Hmm.
Because I know it's been requested quite a bit. Like we do
Yep.
the create new user for the Google Workspace, but not for the sign-on to SmartForms, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully those questions are answered. Keep them coming, chat. All right. Thank you, Sean.
Right, perfect. So a lot of out of the box smart forms. There is one smart form that is not out of the box, but it's a highly requested feature, and this is the schedule traveling users. This is something that was created in-house via a demo as well, and it just grew into this massive request for this package. So when your client is traveling out of the country and they leave on Monday and they come back next week Friday, you fill in this form. You set the date that they are leaving. It will add them to a travel group that is configured in your intro. And then you can set the date when they're leaving, set the date when they come back, and this process will automatically add them to the group and remove them when they are back. So this is pretty much a scheduled package. So once that is created, it will sit in your scheduled packages in your peer portal. So I'm not sure if we've got anything configured in this tenant, but this is what the form looks like. Very, very simple. You select your user, you select when they need access to this travel group, when they're coming back, submit that, and then it will just sit in the scheduled packages. And then once it's completed, it will notify that this ticket has been completed, and then you can close it off. So there's quite a bit of information here. Like these smart forms is very, very powerful. We are still developing and pushing out other smart forms, like the Automation Hub. We've recently released 4 more packages.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
So you guys can just jump in and check what is new. A email will be sent out to the partners with the new packages that have been added. These are the trending ones. All these challenge user identity, which is quite nice. Big security package, and then like the smart forms that have been created. There is a nice little one. Let's go hardware request form. This is a very simple standard form. Let me quickly run through it for you here. So cancel that because I'll actually segue back on this hardware request form because this is actually quite nifty. So hardware request, if your client needs to replace a device or needs to upgrade a device, very simple form to complete. But the one nice thing about this is it comes as an extension automation as well, which you can add to your staff onboarding smart form. So that
Cool.
once you complete the onboarding form and this new user requires a device, it will create a separate ticket for that. So then your bench tech can action that, set up the device, get it shipped out. So this is what it looks like just as a smart form on its own. Unfortunately, I don't have an example of what the ticket looks like if you add it as an extension automation to the onboarding form, but it does create the ticket. That can be actioned, devices can be sent out, and then that user is created and ready to go.
Very, very, very cool. I have a couple of questions that came on. One for the, so if we go back to the other page real quick, Sean, yeah, the select users. So we have a comment. For SmartForms, I would want all users to be able to submit requests for themselves, but deny them the option to select other users. There are only a handful of accounts at each client that I would want them to be able to use SmartForms on behalf of all other users. Makes sense. Can access be limited on the dropdown so that a frontline employee is not submitting tickets for modifications on, like, let's say, the CEO's account, for example?
Right, so I'm guessing they're talking about this little section here. So this is only for internal use. Your clients will not see this when they access the smartphone portal. So this is just if you want to fill out the form on behalf of someone, then this is only for your internal MSP engineers. Clients
Hmm.
do not see this at all.
What about, let's say, go to confirm, and then whenever you click the user of who is needing the account lockout requests done within the client side, and you have to select your own name, so you click Sean for yourself. Is there a way to, yeah, like that. So is there a way to access or to limit the access to others?
Not at the moment, but there is a nice feature that is coming out in Platform 20, which is the new
Hmm.
approvals request. We had an internal demo on that, and that is amazing. That can pretty
Yeah.
much be attached to
Yep.
any smartphone, any package. So that is not something that you can use for these types of forms, just so you don't like fill in a form and select a random person and you want to like reset their password or unlock their account or anything as such. So that approval functionality within Platform 20 is going to be a nice change. Like I said, you can attach it to any smartphone, any
Yeah.
package. And the nice thing about that is you've got 5 contact points on that approval, which means if you can set up five contacts on the approval, it will send an email to all 5 of those people that you've configured. Any one of them can click approve, and then the automation will continue. So that's going to be a very powerful feature. It's coming out very soon on Platform 20.
Hmm.
And it's just that the nice thing is you've got fallbacks on those contacts
Yeah.
contact points as well. So if, say for instance, your 5 contact points are all executives and they're away at a conference, you've got 3 fallbacks on each of those contacts. So if no one responds in a certain amount of time that you can configure, the email will be sent to the fallback where they can then approve and the process can continue. So that
Yeah,
is
that's
something to look
It's a great
forward
point.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming
it's
out
a
platform 20 and it's very, very nice.
really big one
Very, very big
and
one.
well described. And there's going to be more information coming out about that that you can see visually once we go live with Platform 20. As Sean mentioned, we just had train for our team and Sean's team. We just had some training for it earlier this week, and so live date is coming sooner than we know it.
Yeah, I know we've got a big partner that will utilize this because they do use the old functionality. But this one is going to be bigger, better. It's going to be amazing. So once that is out, I can see quite a few of our big partners using that for everything, each package, each smart form. So something to look forward to, yes.
Yeah, and start pushing SmartForms out to more users. So really getting it covering the whole service desk for y'all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
two more questions for you, Sean, before we go over to the next one. The traveling user SmartForm, can you show us where to find that to configure it?
So this is not an out of the box package. So if you guys do want this, you could just reach out to the partner support. We can copy this to your tenant. Like I said, this was something that was custom created in a demo quite a while ago, and it's just been developed and made to work properly with scheduling. So
Hmm.
reach out to partner support. We can copy this to your tenant, and then you can use that. It comes as a smart form and a chatbot interaction. So if a client sends you an email saying, "Oh, this person is traveling," there's a chatbot interaction that looks the same as the smart form. Select your user, select your travel date, select your return date, and then it will be scheduled.
Awesome. Very cool. For you mentioned extension automation just a minute ago on just a minute ago, period. Would the extension automation feature, I guess any of them, give us an opportunity to modify these predefined smart forms? Okay, yeah. So trying to understand the importance slash the use case for the extension part. So let's talk through how extensions fit into maybe our out of the box automations in a smart form scenario.
No, that's perfect. Like the out of the box onboarding form will stay as is. You'll create your own form that you'll append to the onboarding form. So
Mhm.
it will then it will be attached to the bottom of the onboarding form. And this can be used for hardware requests, for any third-party applications that the user needs to be set up for. You can either do ticket triggers or you can do mail triggers, which will then send an email to the person who's setting up these third-party applications, or create a ticket for the internal staff to set up the user for these third-party applications. Um, the possibilities are endless. It's what your client needs, what you need internally. Like we do provide the custom automation training. So if you've got any questions on that, we can schedule those training. You can tell us what you need, and then we can get you started on building your own custom automations and extension points.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left of demo time with you, Sean. What else can you show us?
Uh, I'm not sure what else you guys want to see. I pretty much ran through all the big items. The extra features for the staff onboarding is it's like relatively new, which is quite powerful. In the SMS template, you can configure so it's starting with your company. So you can say a user account has been created, display name, and this comes from TomTech. You can also re uh, reformat the welcome email with all the information that the user would require. I think that was disabled somewhere. So, but there's a function there to modify that. So everything for smart forms can be branded in terms of your company. So it looks like it comes from TomTech and not just Peer. But obviously Peer is the engine that drives all of this, just to make your lives easier. And yeah, the zero touch slashes time. Uh, but actually it takes all the time because there's no technical intervention required. The self onboarding slashes the time by more than half as well. And if you build your own custom automations and extension automations, it just makes life so much easier. Like everything just runs smoothly, like a well-oiled machine. You can build your own custom smart forms as well, for whatever you need. Like except that there's the Discord community. If you want any extension automations, these guys have built some amazing things. You can reach out to them, chat to them, see what they've done, and then just build on that. And yeah, peer is a powerful tool. Just put your mind to it, run through it, and then yeah, like the Matt was discussing as well, just the time against ROI is just there's no issues with this at all. You just need to spend some time on it. Does take a little bit of configuration and setting up, but once it's set up the way you want it, it's it's a big one. It's a
Could
big one.
could you show us within you had ConnectWise Manage open a minute ago,
Yes.
right? Could you show us what the process would look like for maybe not a zero touch smart form that comes in? What's the technician going to experience?
So let me quickly. Uh, I just want to quickly cancel. Well, that ticket is closed now. So let me go to a different ticket that is open. I had some test tickets here. All right. So this is a ticket that I canceled, so I can just quickly do something else for it.
Mhm.
So you've got plenty of packages. You've got your staff changes. There are 19 items like need to uh, remove multiple contacts from a group, add remove access, obviously the challenge user identity, which is also quite a big one. These great contacts. So there's quite a few. There's even the email processes. You want to blacklist the email address, create a group, get mailbox information. So this is a nice little one to run. I know partners use this quite a bit because they want to retrieve all the information of a certain mailbox, see who's got access to it. So it's like you can see on the activity log, it's running through the process to gather all the information. I'll select. Uh,
So essentially, what a technician would experience is a new ticket comes in and it's already been filled out from the smart forms. It's just coming in quite literally, presenting them in the middle of the ticket.
Correct. So if your
That's nice.
triage, if your triage and your stamping is set up correctly, say for instance, someone says I need a password reset. Pierre will actually recommend the password reset package. So you'll click on that.
Mhm.
It will give you the drop down. You can select the users. Just run through it. Takes about 5-10 minutes to run through the process, depending on how the partner environment is set up. But this is what it would look like. You've got your chat bot. You got your options to run through. So let's say, so reset. So
While you're
reset
doing,
password.
hmm
Yeah. So this is how it will come up. Because the
Cool.
analysis will pick up the description as well as the ticket body. It will recommend whatever is in the ticket body. So if it's something related to your mailbox, something related to your account, unlock account, reset password, it will recommend it like it shows kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's really helpful. That's changing almost like tickets per tech. That could drastically amplify that number.
Exactly. And the nice thing is when tickets comes through, say for instance, like any mailbox issues or any account issues, everything can be dealt with within the chatbot. You don't need to leave
Mhm.
the ticket at all. You don't need to log on to the customer's tenant or anything to do these actions. Everything can be done by the chatbot.
Got another question for you. Uh, not quite as exciting as the new user onboarding, but have you all seen much use for the new IT request smart form? And could that at all take advantage of a service like MSP Process, for instance?
I've never really played with the IT request form. We can quickly run through it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's take a bit of a run through. See what this experience is like. Because for like any unrelated stuff like password resets and so on, I know the clients will just email through and will d detect, triage, and recommend something. Yeah, so I want to get something fixed. I'm working at the office. I'm using a PC laptop. Help me with internet. So let's say internet issues. Internet keeps dipping. Then we've got that created. And then go here. And let's see what this creates for you. Connect seems to be a little broken at the moment. And I'm sitting all the way in South Africa, and ConnectWise is sitting in Australia. So it will be a little bit slow. It's like long distance traveling.
We do have another question when it's appropriate, Sean.
Sure.
Is it possible to impersonate a client end user in the SmartForms as an MSP admin to confirm the user's experience?
You definitely can. So you can impersonate
Yeah.
like the admins, the peer admins will see the screen at the top. So you're administering as TomTick, and you can change that. So you can select any of the other clients.
Mm.
Shove the hut.
So yeah, there is that functionality. There should be a way to limit that. I'll just have to check through the options because I know that has been raised quite a bit. So new IT request submitted for internet issues. So if your triage is set up correctly as well, it should stamp it correctly with the type and item and assign it to the correct team to deal with this because this might be your networking team, or if it's just a simple fix to your level one engineers. So yeah, we don't have the triage is set up properly for this, so it will just go to the product specialist board with the status peer processing. Yeah. So everything came through, the form came through, and then just click OK to finalize
Nice.
request. There we go. The IT request form is a very, very simple form. If anyone thinks that we need to expand on that, definitely pop it into peer ideas. But yeah, I haven't seen many people use that, but it's still a nifty little form.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Sean. This was really helpful to visualize and go through a few different case scenarios. If there are any chat, if there are any other questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A and chat still as they come through. We may get to them after, or we may just type them. But we're wrapping up on the hour, and there's a few things that I'd like to cover at the end, just some resources and new things that I want to let y'all know about. So, first, thank you guys for joining our deep dive into SmartForms. We covered a lot what SmartForms is, how it works, some different case studies, how to get started, maybe a couple of revenue generating ideas for you and your own go-to-market strategy. A lot of things on my outro list for y'all. First, want to mention something new. I don't know if any of y'all like the NCAA, but we're starting a March Madness activity group. So, Matt, if you want to give a few details on that, I know you're leading it.
Yeah, yeah. So, as we all know, we're approaching March Madness. So, the NCAA here bracket here in the States. Big little thing that we're running, I would say. It's a partner-only bracket, kind of designed to be fun, zero pressure. It's a fun way to drive engagement and community across our partner ecosystem. So, we're gonna have some great prizes, some great fun, and it's an excuse to connect with some new partners or some new peers, maybe reconnect with some returning friends, stay top of mind, and just have some fun while the NCAA tournament goes on. So
Yeah.
Details that we got to know here. First day to sign up. So today, so we've got it live going on. So that's excellent. So a little bit more detail will be coming out there soon. But the last day to sign up is going to be Thursday, March 19th, and it should be 12 noon Eastern. So that's Eastern Standard Time Zone here in the US. So March 19th. Prizes. What is this all about, Matt? So first, you're going to get a $400, and I believe it's a gift card, right, Alyssa?
Yep.
Okay, $400 gift card plus a PIA gift. Second will be $250 of a gift card plus a PIA gift, of course. And then our lovely third place winner will receive a PIA gift as well. So more to come here, but we're about a month away from really it starting. So excited, and we'll be pumped to have you guys out there with with the NCAA tournament March Madness bracket.
Awesome. Fun. Thank you, Matt. Super excited to
Yeah,
do
of
this with
course.
y'all. Feel free to message your PSM if you want to join in to March Madness. Again, doesn't cost anything to join, but you have the chance of winning something cool. Message your PSM, or you can message our distro partner dash success at pia.ai. I'm going to put the link in the chat in just a bit. Thank you very much. I also want to let y'all know we've officially gone live with a PIA partner referral program. So if you know of anyone in your community who could benefit from being a PIA partner, head to our site and submit some information on who you'd like to recommend. And you get a kickback if they become a PIA partner, and they get a discount on their onboarding just immediately. So I'm putting the link in the chat right now. And then, as you've noticed, we've segmented our office hours into two different series. At each month, we have MSP Insight series the first Thursday of the month, and our deep dive series, which is going to be more technical, really demo forward for the third Thursday. Our next office hours is over metrics that matter. So, thinking about the ROI of automation and AI for your business, how to visualize it, calculate it, grade yourself on it. We're going to be talking about that at the beginning of March. So that's March 5th. I have the links. You just have to register once and then you'll get the whole series. And then next month's deep dive in March is going to be over custom creations. So creating custom packages, going to get our hands dirty with that. We also just released a PIA Press. It's a new newsletter that's for partners only. If you did not receive the PIA Press newsletter at the beginning of this month, please let me know. It has a lot of resources, a lot of learning material for PIA. I want to make sure that y'all are receiving absolutely everything that you can in regard to what we're doing here at PIA. So let me know if you did not receive it. Our next edition is going to come out next Friday, so the 27th. I think I schedule it to go out around like 8 local time, 8 a.m. local time. So make sure, keep your eyes out for that. For events, we're going to be Kaseya Local in Auckland, February 26th. We're doing a Halo and PIA integration webinar. So if any of y'all are using Halo PSA, we are going to be doing a webinar with them also next Friday, February 27th at 10 a.m. Central Time. So there's the registration link for that if you'd like to join, if that is interesting for you. We're also going to be at Exchange in Orlando, Florida, March 2nd to 3rd. I will be there personally. So if you're going to go, please let me know. I'd love to see you, grab you a drink at the open bar. Just let me know. It's on me. We'll also be at Threat Locker Zero Trust World Digital and Block Party, also in Orlando, Florida, March 3rd to 6th, that same week. I will also be there too. So if you're going to be at either of those events, please shoot me a message. Would love to connect. And then March 9th to 11th, we're going to be in London for ConnectWise IT Nation Connect in Europe, London. Okay. So if you plan to attend these or want a message about March Madness and more, you can. There's the partner success distro. And then I'm also going to give y'all a link to our Discord community. This is heavy on development. Our devs are in there, our product team is in there. They're chatting away all the time. You can share some custom creations yourself. Some of our other MSPs share their ideas. It's a great community to be a part of. I also want to let you know we've also created an interactive demo environment. So, for you or your team members, as they learn new features of our product, please let your partner success manager know that you're interested in using that. It's a great tool to use if you're an autonomous, hands on learner. You don't necessarily need to wait to meet with someone from our team. You can do this beforehand. That way, whenever you do meet with our team for, let's say, a triage session or a SmartForms session, you've already done some work. So you know what you're going into whenever you approach our conversation with our product specialist team, and you can be as efficient and productive as possible during that call. So let us know if you're interested in that interactive demo environment. And then last but not least, keep an eye out for a short survey after this session. Please be candid. I read every response and user feedback to make these sessions better. Okay, that is all. Thank you so, so much for joining today. It was lovely to see y'all and talk to y'all. Thank you so much, Sean and Matt, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
I guess.
Bye.
See ya.